You just gave me 40 years. Sir? Yes. You just gave me 40 years. Well, guess what?
What's up, YouTube? You already know it's your boy Sticks, and we're going back in the mix. Hey, check this out. If this is the first time you're coming across my channel, on this channel, I got over 250 videos. All those videos are crime related. If that sounds like the type of content you're interested in, go check out the channel. Leave me a comment, and I'd really appreciate it. Now, today's reaction video, we're going to be going inside the courtroom to watch the judge hand down these lengthy sentences, and we're going to see if the punishment actually fits the crime. With that being said, come on, let's go check this out.
Jaleel Smith, who is facing charges for murder in Michigan. Smith Riley was involved in an armed robbery on November 16th, 2013 in Norwood, where he and two other men approached a parked car. Inside the parked car was 20-year-old Porsha Brooks and her boyfriend, Aaron Martin. Smith Riley knocked on the window with a handgun and forced Martin, who was in the passenger seat, out of the car. Jaleel then proceeded to go through Aaron's pockets and demanded his cash. Once Jaleel had taken every dollar Aaron had, he then took his life with a shot to the head, causing permanent brain damage. However, Jaleel wasn't done there. Right after shooting Aaron, he then leaned into the car and fired, sitting in the car twice, and she died 3 days later. Fortunately, Martin survived the shooting, but sustained serious injury. Before the judge announced the sentence that Jaleel would be facing, Porsha's family...
Now look, this is the exact type of person you do not want just walking around freely. For the simple fact, they gave up everything they had, and he still shot him. Luckily, the guy lived, but the female, she died from her injuries. And it's just crazy because although they gave up everything they had, he probably had no intentions on letting them live even after that. Let's see what he gets sentenced to. Come on.
Away from them. Sharon Brooks, Porsha's mother, brought the box containing her daughter's ashes to the courtroom, as she had for previous court dates. She stated that Smith Riley had ruined her life and killed her identity as a mother of three.
This is what I have left because of his greed, his selfishness, his complete disregard of and disrespect of others and life.
Man, that's pretty deep. So she brought her daughter's ashes to court. And I'm not too familiar with this case. I don't know if this was a jury trial or if he took a plea or whatever. But when she set those ashes up on that desk, I'm sure it had to impact everybody that was in that courtroom. It's just senseless. Because no matter what they did that night, he had no intentions on letting them live. It's crazy.
That she is gone.
Tia Marie Brooks, Porsha's sister, also spoke emotionally and requested that Smith Riley be handed the maximum sentence.
I have to deal with life without Porsha, so he should deal with life without parole.
Then, Aaron, who Jaleel shot in the head, spoke to the court.
She's still here with us, and she will always be here. So she's our angel looking over us, hoping to get through these hard times.
As if Smith Riley's crime was not outrageous enough, his reaction to his sentence was even more dramatic. During the trial on August 11th, 2021, Smith Riley pleaded guilty to aggravated murder and attempted murder. However, he later decided to withdraw his guilty plea against the advice of his attorneys.
From the beginning, this was an emotional day for the families of both of these victims, but when Smith Riley decided to reverse his plea halfway through the sentencing hearing, they were shocked, and his attorneys were too, in part because it puts the death penalty back on the table.
Prior to receiving his sentence, Jaleel was heard apologizing in court as what appeared to be a last attempt at showing remorse. Additionally, Jaleel's attorney made a final attempt at saving face.
He knows he can't go back in time.
Despite the tears and the apologies, Judge Charles Kubicki, presiding over the case at Hamilton County Common Pleas Court, denied Smith Riley's request and sentenced him to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The 23-year-old monster that is currently rotting behind bars collapsed to the floor of the courtroom upon receiving his sentence. Smith Riley also received an additional sentence of 11 years for a related attempted murder charge. However bad you think Smith Riley's case was, he can't be.
Alright, let's talk about that sentence real quick. So, the guy will live out the rest of his natural life behind the wall. And honestly, he deserves that. Just because he already had all their stuff. He didn't have to go that extra step and take their life. I'm telling you, that's the worst type of people you can be around, because you have no idea of what they're capable of. If you ask me, on that one, the judge definitely handed down the right sentence. Life without parole. Now this next one is going to be pretty crazy. This happened in Ohio. Let's see what the judge has to say about this. Come on.
Is TJ Lane, who's facing charges for multiple murders in Ohio. TJ Lane was a convicted American murderer who gained notoriety after committing a horrific crime at Sharon High School in Ohio. On February 27, 2012, the Ohio Police Department responded to multiple calls from teachers and students that there was an active shooter in the building.
High school, we got shots fired, gunshots, multiple gunshots.
According to police reports, Lane entered the school and headed to the cafeteria. It was here that TJ Lane opened fire and killed 3 students and severely injured 3 others. 6 people got physically harmed at the hands of TJ Lane that day, but hundreds, if not, to Chardon High School on February 27, 2012, with intangible pain that will last through eternity.
Glances of your friends laying all over the place. There's blood, there's people screaming, everybody's running in different directions, and you're just trying to get out.
I saw a kid holding a gun pointing it towards a group of kids.
Do you remember the look on the gunman's face?
I never looked at his face, I just looked at the gun. I still can't think about it all, because it's just so scary.
Lane's action.
Now look, these are the type of things that I cannot wrap my head around. Why somebody would want to wake up one day and go and hurt innocent people that have nothing to do with whatever situation this kid's going through. Whether his home life, abuse, mental illness, whatever the case may be, there's 6 people that was basically impacted by this situation. 3 of them passed away, and it sounds to me like everybody that was involved is now traumatized. Could you imagine having to go back to school after seeing that? That's crazy. Come on, let's see what else.
Murder, 2 counts of attempted aggravated murder, and 1 count of felonious assault. As if the murders were not bad enough, Lane showed no remorse for his actions at the trial and refused to cooperate with his attorneys. Instead, he appeared in court wearing a t-shirt with the word killer written on it, and even gave the middle finger to the victims' families. During the sentencing hearing, Lane made a shocking statement.
Saying pull the trigger, the killer's done, now masturbates to memory.
The statement caused outrage and disgust, not only among the families of the victims, but also across the entire nation. The judge presiding over the case, Judge David Fury, described Lane's behavior as heinous, unprovoked, and senseless, and sentenced him to 3 life sentences in prison without parole. Lane didn't even bat an eyelid when he heard his sentence. He remained emotionless and unremorseful.
Alright, now the first things first. Why would the court allow him to sit there wearing a t-shirt that says killer on it? Most people, if you act up in court, they'll strap you to a chair with a spit catcher on or something to where you can't even turn to look at the victims, let alone just have free roam to flip the victims the bird after what you did to them. So he wind up getting 3 life sentences, which he'll never get out ever. And I hope the whole time he's doing time, that the people in there make it as hard for him as humanly possible. Because now there's 3 kids that's not going to continue on living their life to ever see what they could have been. And their parents have to live with that. And this kid is basically using the courtroom to just hype it up for the cameras and get his last minute of fame. It's crazy. Let's check out this next case and see what's going on. Come on.
Stone, who is facing charges for going on a crime splurge throughout the nation, including kidnapping and assault, all of which was captured and broadcasted live by helicopters. The chase began after Stone hijacked a car with a 4-year-old boy inside and drove off, leading police on a dangerous pursuit that lasted more than an hour. During the chase, Stone drove up to 100 miles per hour and was reckless in every regard of the word. He's seen here overtaking an innocent civilian on the highway, throwing them out of the car before carrying on in the new vehicle. But that's not all. Watch here as he exits the highway, opens the car door at full speed, then slams onto the brakes right before crashing into another car parked in an intersection. Investigators believe this was a sorry attempt at another carjacking. Stone also crashed into several other vehicles during this chase.
So he carjacks a car with a young child in it, and then he's still driving around reckless, hitting other people's cars. I guarantee you, once he's caught, the judge got something for him. Guaranteed. Come on.
Inches from taking out a policeman who was trying to place stop sticks on the highway. He eventually crashed the stolen car and attempted to flee on foot. However, he was quickly apprehended by police and placed in a holding cell. As if Stone's actions weren't bad enough, he was caught on tape boasting about his actions to a friend who visited him in the cell.
Hey, did you know I made the news in the UK and Australia?
What?
Yeah. My lawyer told me I made the news in the UK too. My shit comes up first.
Ryan also believed that he should be compensated for his viral car chase because the news channels are using his car chase footage.
I'm going to contact the news or have you contact someone. You guys are getting paid using my name.
Stone was charged with 26 crimes involving kidnapping, motor vehicle theft, assault, and eluding police. Stone's sentencing hearing was emotional. In court, many of his victims and their families can be heard speaking about the impact of his crimes on their lives. Some spoke of physical injuries they had sustained in the crash, while others described the emotional trauma they had experienced due to the incident. Stone spoke at the hearing. He cried, expressed remorse for his actions, and apologized to his victims. Isn't it ironic that in the same week, Ryan was captured in the video on the left, laughing and boasting about his crimes, and on the other video on the right, he's seen crying and begging for sympathy from the court, as he finally realized the severity of his actions. Despite his apology, the judge in the case was unmoved, noting that Stone had shown a pattern of criminal behavior and that he posed a threat to society. The judge handed down the maximum sentence possible. Stone pleaded guilty to all charges and was sentenced to 160 years in prison without the possibility of parole. Stone was in tears when he learned he'd spend the rest of his life in prison. Stone blamed his actions on drugs, and his show of remorse might be sincere.
So basically, for all that, he receives 160 years, which pretty much seals the deal. It guarantees that he'll never be free again, unless some type of laws pass or whatever. Now, I know nobody in this case died, but still, he put a lot of people's life in jeopardy when he woke up and decided he was going to go on this carjacking spree, get in the car with some young kid, wind up wrecking it, injuring several people, and then he wanted to get on the jail phone and show out for some girl and say he should be getting paid for everybody using his content. This guy is definitely delusional. There's nothing else to say. And if you ask me, This the type of person that prisons were built for anyways. People that don't care about human life. Those are the worst type of people in society, because you never know when they're going to wake up one day and just snap. And they really don't care who they hurt. Now, the first guy, you seen him collapse to the floor. He realized his life was over. But yet, he never even gave his victims a chance to live either. The second guy, the young kid, he could care less. He really doesn't even know what he's in for. Reality hasn't even hit him yet until he gets in that prison where the big boys are. And nobody respects the type of crime he committed, hurting them young kids. I can guarantee you he'll either be locked up by himself, or for the rest of his life, he will become a victim. Now this third guy, 160 years, I don't know. Put it in the comments. Let me know if you think justice was served in this last case. Because I do realize that there wasn't a loss of life, and he will never leave prison. But still, the judge have a duty to these repeat offenders to keep them off the streets so that innocent people don't get hurt. But hey, that's the video for today. Drop in the comments, let me know what you think, and I'll be back with another video as soon as I can. But until next time, hold your head and stay out of lockup. Hey, and don't drink and drive.